When you have a job to get done, you need the right tool. Hammers and screwdrivers are great for the job they were designed for, but sometimes you find a project that needs a more complex tool. Then you need a tool where you not only need the main tool, but you also need the right attachment, cooperating with that tool to get the job done. Like this drill. Without the right drill bit to do the work, it's just a noisy paperweight. Or this ratchet. Without the right socket, well, I guess you got a little shiny little hammer, maybe? It's not useful unless you have both parts working together. There's even some tools that don't need another piece, they need another person. This saw can't work at all unless I have someone helping me on the other end. All that to say, some things simply don't work or can't get finished without cooperation. We define cooperation like this: working together to do more than you could do alone. When you think about it, cooperation is huge. When you cooperate, you can build more, you can learn more, you can do more. Cooperation is also a spiritual concept. God designed us as human beings not only to need each other, but also to need Him. Now, it's not like God was up in heaven desperate for some help, so He made us. No, God is all-sufficient, but He created us so we could have a relationship with Him, and so that we could participate in His work together. In other words, God put all of us together on this planet to do more together than we could ever do alone. And in some cases, with His help, to do things that might even seem undoable. So we want every leader, every parent, and every child to memorize this verse of Scripture. 2 people are better than 1. They can help each other in everything they do. Just think about the difference you could make in your church if every parent, leader, and child really bought into this spiritual concept of cooperation. The Bible is full of stories of people who came together in faith to do something they could never do alone. Think about the Israelites building the tabernacle. God could have had Moses do the work on his own, but instead God called in expert artists, craftsmen, all kinds of people to work together to build this incredibly intentional place of worship. Kids will learn that we can work together to get God's work done. Then there's this really kind of bizarre story where Joshua is battling a group of people called the Amalekites. As the battle starts, Moses is standing on a hill with his brother Aaron and another guy named Hur, and there Moses is holding up the staff of God. As long as Moses keeps his arms up, the Israelites are winning. But when he drops his arms, the Israelites start losing. So Hur and Aaron make this really great decision. They hold up Moses' arms. And with God's help, the Israelites are victorious. Just like Hur and Aaron, it's important for a child to realize that we can work together to help someone else succeed. For week 3, we'll discover that as we read the Bible, there are times when it seems like God reserves His power or His miracle and waits for us to agree and for us to work together. And once we do that, it's like we're inviting God's presence and power into the situation. That's what we find in the life of one paralyzed man who just happened to have some really good friends. When his friends heard that Jesus was in town, they tried everything to get their friend to Jesus. In fact, as friends, they cooperated, tore a hole in a roof, and dropped their friend down in front of Jesus while He was teaching. And as a result of their faith and cooperation, a miracle happened. The miracle in this story didn't happen because of the power of the friends or simply their ability to cooperate with each other. No, it was when their ability and power connected with the power of God. Jesus did something unbelievable because of their faith and cooperation. We want kids to see that they can work together to change someone's life. So, cooperation means understanding how we can work with others, and cooperation also means understanding how we can cooperate with God. But here's another thought. Have you ever thought about how powerful it is not only for us to do something with others and for us to do something with God, but what it would be like if we understood the power of doing something with others and with God all together? You see, that's called church. In our final week, we look at how the early church worked together to help those who were in need. And when they cooperated, people noticed. And when other people saw all of these different kinds of people working together, well, they came to know Jesus. Our kids can do the same thing today. When they work together, they can point people to Jesus too. This month, think about this question. What can you do together? What can you do together as a family? And what can you do together as a church to demonstrate to your children the way God designed us? Not only to need each other, but also to need Him. How can we cooperate with God on His plan to change the world? I have this sneaking suspicion that the children who watched those friends that tore the roof apart and saw Jesus make that man walk again were never the same. They had stories to tell for generations because they'd seen the power of cooperation. They had seen what happens when God shows up to put His stamp of approval on people working together. This month, help make that the story of your church too. I bet this would get through the roof in a hurry. I need some help. Hey, somebody? Anybody?